Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a favourites video. I haven't done one of these in the longest time, so this is everything that I've been loving for spring so far. I've limited myself to 10 items to try and keep it as curated and edited as possible, and basically to stop me waffling on. And as always, this is a mix of all kinds of things, a little bit of beauty, some fashion, some lifestyle, a bit of everything. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'm gonna get started. So first up is this dry shampoo, and this is the Living Proof Perfect Hair Day. It took me a while to warm up to this, mainly because I was using it wrong to begin with. I would just give it a little bit of a shake and then I'd spray it and I just wouldn't see any difference. However, the key to using this, I found, is actually, well, firstly to read the instructions, which I just didn't do to begin with. And once I did that, I found that you really have to shake it a lot and then hold it enough away to not get a lot of gunk in your hair, I guess. And since then, this has been a game changer for me. I've heard lots of other people say that they use dry shampoos to add volume to their hair, and I've never managed to do that because it just doesn't seem to work, whereas this actually does. So now every time I wash my hair and I'm styling it, I give this a big shake and then I spray it on my roots, and it gives it a lot of lift. So I love this because I definitely struggle with volume in my hair. It has a tendency to go very flat, so this has been a game changer for me. I'm almost done, there's not much in it, so I need to get a new bottle, but I adore this. It was a great buy. My next favourite are two candles that I've been loving. They're both peony scented, and the first one is the Jo Malone Peony and Blush Suede. This is actually the perfume that I wear on a daily basis. I cannot get enough of this fragrance, and I like it so much that I burn it as a candle as well. This is my second one of these. They are really expensive, but they do last a really long time, I think, and I think the fragrance is just so beautiful. I am really in love with it. It's very girly and feminine, but at the same time it's not overly sweet. I'm not a huge fan of really sickly sweet fragrances, whereas this is floral but it's still a little bit musky, which is what I love about it. So whether it's every day, well, not this, the cologne version, every day as a perfume, I also like to burn this candle, which I think is just so lovely. The second peony candle is this one from Floris, and this doesn't have the name on it, but I believe this is Peony and Rose, and this is just as gorgeous as well. It's a little bit sweeter and it's a lot more floral, so you can definitely smell the rose, but if you do like things which are just even more girly than the Jo Malone fragrance, then you'll probably like this one. It's really lovely, quite light as well, so perfect for summer when you don't want like really heavy fragrances, and I've really been enjoying burning this, so I've kind of been alternating between the two. The flat has been smelling very good as a result, and I'm a big fan of them both. Up next are a pair of loafers, and I talked about these in a fairly recent video. I think it was the 2017 trends, or trends for 2017, that I'm investing in, and I talked then about how I liked the idea of loafers, but frequently I just didn't think they were very flattering on me, and then I stumbled across these, fell in love, and I've pretty much been obsessed with them ever since. I have gotten so much use out of these already, so I'm really pleased with my purchase. I do think they've worked it out. They do have this little gold kind of metallic bit here, which I think dresses them up just a little bit. Then you have the pointy toe, and otherwise they're just very kind of simple loafers. Beautiful pebbled leather, they are super comfortable as well, and I just love these. I've been wearing them with everything from jeans to dresses, skirts. They've been really versatile, and these are definitely a favourite of mine at the moment. I can't get enough. My next favourite is another beauty one, and this is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Skin Perfecting Micro Powder in the shade Number 1 Fair, and I absolutely love this powder. As you can see, I've hit pan on it, and I am going to be repurchasing another one when this is done. It's really a solid product. Usually I've been very faithful to the RMS Un powder, which I've used for years and years, and if you're into organic makeup, then I would absolutely recommend that, or even if you just like high performance makeup, because that is really a great powder. I didn't think I'd ever stray from that, but after trying this is a strong contender. It gives you a very flawless airbrush finish, which is, I guess, what it says it's going to do. It goes on sheer, so it doesn't give you a lot of colour, so you don't look cakey or anything like that. I really don't like the really full-on makeup look. And this is just the perfect thing, you know, it gives you that little bit of extra help without being so obviously made up. So a huge fan of this. Bit sad of hit pan, but definitely worth a repurchase. I've been loving this. Up next is a bit of a random one, but this is essentially a dietary supplement powder. I was going to say protein powder, but apparently it's not. It's a breakfast shake which contains protein, super greens, minerals, herbs, fruits and vegetables, basically a lot of good ingredients. And I really found that as much as I would love to have a big breakfast every day, it's not the best if you're trying to lose a bit of weight. And so I found that even if I do have a very solid breakfast, I will always be hungry a few hours later. So what I found to work much better for me is if I can have a drink which I can sip gradually, and that will really really help sustain me for a much longer amount of time. So usually I'll go for a Starbucks, but I know that's not the healthiest of options, so I wanted something a little bit healthier, and I found this, which had absolutely glowing reviews. It is eye-wateringly expensive though, so it is £50 this whole thing, which, you know, you get a bit in there, but for £50 I'd really want like a year's supply, which this definitely isn't, but I wanted to give it a go, so I did, and I have really been liking it. So it's not the most amazing tasting thing in the world, you know, it tastes fine. They say it's a chocolate flavoured shake, which I would say it's more similar to malt, and it does get a little bit powdery, so if you don't like protein powders, then you may want to mix it with a banana or something like that, but I've just been having this with almond milk and I've really been enjoying it. Lasts me a pretty long time in terms of the actual morning, and I have noticed a bit of a difference, especially in terms of sustained energy and things like that. So it's full of lots of good ingredients. I'm not going to list them all, but I'll link to this and everything else below. But yeah, I have been a fan of this. So if you're like me and you struggle with breakfasts, then this might be one to try out. My next favourite are this pair of earrings, and these are ball earrings, and I absolutely love this style. I think they're just such a fun jewellery piece. Obviously not serious jewellery here, but I think these are a great way to lighten up an outfit. I've been wearing these full on dressy with dresses, but I've also been wearing them just to spruce up a pair of simple jeans and a white t-shirt, and I think they work really well with both types of outfits. These were definitely a bit of a splurge. I feel like I'm saying that about everything in this video, but these really were a splurge. I think these were £260, which is a huge amount of money for something like this. I totally get it. These are from Rebecca de Ravenel, but you can also find really inexpensive versions of these. I know that Bobble Bar has some, and I think a few other stores, so I'll link to some more affordable options down below as well. But I've really been enjoying these. I just love fun things like this, which can make any outfit just a little bit more lighthearted, I think. So massive fan of these. I've been getting a lot of wear out of them, and I imagine I'm going to be getting a lot more as the summer spring months go on. Next up is another beauty one. I think this is my last beauty favourite, and this is by First Aid Beauty. It's the Ultra Repair Cream, and this is just, I think, a simple moisturiser, or at least I've been using it as a simple moisturiser, and I've been using this specifically on my legs. I get very dry skin specifically on my legs, and I have no idea why, because I don't suffer from dry skin anywhere else on my body. It's always my legs, and it gets to the point where if I don't moisturise frequently, my skin begins to flake off. It gets that bad, so I always take moisturising my legs very seriously, and I'm fairly fussy about what moisturisers I use. I don't really like heavily scented moisturisers. I don't like moisturisers that remain quite sticky and don't really absorb that well, so I really like Nivea's moisturiser, and up until now I haven't really found another one which I'm happy to go back to, whereas this is a really strong contender. It does have a little bit of a scent, but it's really mild. It's not in your face at all. I would happily use this several times a day. I don't need to though. I literally just need to use it once a day. It's very moisturizing. As you can see, well, I don't know whether you'll be able to see that, but it is actually very thick as well, but it absorbs really quickly, which is the perfect combination. Lotions really don't do enough for me. They do absorb quickly, but they don't moisturize enough, so I need a more heavy duty cream, and this goes on quite thickly, but it also absorbs pretty much instantly. So I love this. This has been my go-to. I've really been enjoying it, and if you also suffer from very dry skin, then I would recommend checking this out. Now for a bag favourite, because of course I have to include a bag favourite, and for me at the moment it's absolutely my new Gucci Marmont camera bag. I've spoken about this pretty recently on my channel, so I'm not going to go too into depth, but I've really been loving this. It's such a fun, functional little bag. I love the colour. I think the colour is just perfect for spring, and I think it's just a really cute update on the traditional camera bag style. You can fit a fair amount in it. If you're interested in seeing exactly how much in a comparison, then I will link the Gucci comparison I did recently, where I compare this to the Marmont flat bag and also the Gucci So Disco. I didn't end up picking this as my ultimate favourite, however that doesn't mean that I'm not really enjoying it and totally in love with my new bag. It can fit a fair bit, and I just love a lot of things about this. I love the hardware as well, even though lots of people have very strong opinions about it. And for me, this is just the perfect spring summer bag. I'm really excited to use it more. I don't want to make this Gucci overload, but I also did want to mention my Gucci belt, which I've been loving, mainly because I've been forcing myself to wear it so much because it is such an expensive belt. This was, I think, £330, which is more than I've ever spent on any belt. It's actually probably more than I've spent on all my belts combined. So it was kind of a big purchase for me, so I really wanted to make sure that I got as much value for money out of it as I could, and I have been doing that because I've literally been trying to wear it with everything. Whenever I get dressed, I'm always like, can I wear my Gucci belts? And I just think it's such a fun, versatile piece. I got mine in the size 85. I get a lot of questions about that all the time. I think I mentioned it before, but I know people miss things, so got it in size 85, absolutely the right decision. I have had to put in extra holes, which I know voids the warranty, but I really wanted to make this as versatile as I could. So I put in the last 3 holes, I think, and that enables me to wear it as a waist belt as well. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to, so that was worth it to me, and I have been wearing it with dresses and skirts and jeans and pretty much everything that I can. I've been loving this. I do think it was a good buy for me. And now for my very last favourite, I have another fashion one, and it's this pink coat, and this is from John Lewis. I think the collection is called the Pure Collection. It doesn't actually have a label, but I think it's from the Pure Collection. I do think this sold out pretty quickly. I got this a couple of months ago. If it is still available, I will link to it, but otherwise I will try and find something similar. But for me, this has just been so surprising because I loved it when I first got it, but I was a bit concerned about how much use I would get out of a pink coat. But I've been wearing it a ton. It's been my go-to, and even when I first received this, when it was still quite miserable weather, and even when it was raining or really just not nice outside, I'd wear this and it would just make me feel that little bit more cheerful. And now that it is nicer weather, I've still been wearing it, and I just think it matches the weather. So I've been loving this. I've been wearing it to work, I've been wearing it casually. It's been super versatile and I can't get enough. So wanted to include this because I think it's kind of good to try new things sometimes, and this has just really worked out for me. So if you're a little bit scared to try something like an all pink coat, then I definitely say go for it, because as I mentioned, I've been getting a lot of use out of this. If you guys follow my blog, you will recognise this coat because I've worn it quite a few times on there as well, and this has been a great buy for me. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. I'll leave links to everything I mentioned down below in the description section, and if you have any questions or comments, then leave them for me down below. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up, and as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.